I'm going to share my screen. So this week we've got, we're doing week 5, third, recovering a sense of possibility. And my email for CSA is webcsa.pg@gmail.com. So for any of you who are trying to get a hold of me, if you're using the Sunday MM, that goes to a generic email. Sometimes I see the content, sometimes I don't, because other people are using that email account. And sometimes they delete things before I get to see them. So get a hold of me here and you should find me no problem. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen and I'm going to reshare the web screen. So what I'm going to do is I am going to log out and be at the homepage of centerforspiritualawakening.org. So if you see up here, there's the place where you type in the website. You can also type in csa-pg.org, and that will take you to Center for Spiritual Awakening as well. So in order to get into the recorded content, you have to go to this website, and then you have to go over here to log in. It's in the menu bar at the upper right between Contact Us and Cart. And if you click Login, you're going to see an opportunity that says email and password. Now, if you forgot your password, or if you've never even created a password, you're going to click Reset Password and then type in your email and click Continue. That'll send you an email with the password reset. But if you want to come back, if you remember your email and you want to come back here, you go to click to log in, and then I have mine all saved. I have quite a few different passwords and emails, but I'm using my Jody Royee at hotmail.com for this one. Put in my password and I click log in, and I have access to all the pages that I've created, the web courses for CSA, so because I'm the webmaster, but you're just getting access to Artist's Way. So this is the main page for this course. Basically introduces you, the dates are here, the time is here, and then the classes that we aren't going to have is October 31st and November 28th. But I'm just going to mute everybody so we have this going. So as you scroll down, you're going to see you know, request anything. You can email me. Here's my email address right here. You can download and print the syllabus. You got the syllabus when you first enrolled. This is the Artist's Way videos. So this is week 1. This is the introduction page that explains the homework. And you can download and print this file as well. It's also a PDF. This is the 13-week checklist that helps support your process, and you can download and print this as well. You got this when you first enrolled as well, and you had the ability to print this and download and print it from day 1. Not because you had access to this, but because it was emailed to you when you first enrolled. This is the recording for week 2 with the overview of 1 and the preview of week 2. So this gives you a synopsis of the whole week 1 and week 2 in a very tight outline. So if you don't even want to read the book and you just go, tell me what I'm supposed to do with my time, because I don't even have time to read the book, you can come here and you could look at this and say, okay, week 2, what do I need to do? Here's the main things that I need to do. Here's the summary of all the activities that I could participate in that will really support me. She doesn't expect you to do all of them, but just pick some that are intriguing and challenging. And that's how every week goes. Find something that's going to support you. So then, of course, we continue down and we have week 3, 4, and today is week 5. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And this should support you in anytime, because I'm not going to take that video content down. Once we're done after week 12, the content will remain, and you can literally restart the class for yourself. You can go through it again and just rewatch the video and sort of start over. If you feel like you're behind, don't even think like that. Just go, I'm where I'm supposed to be, exactly where I'm supposed to be in this class. I'm absorbing as much as I can right now. And repetition is the mother of all learning and transformation. And when we repeat our experiences, just like going on a hike, the same hike, if you go to Sobranis or Garland or Point Lobos or Jack's Peak, you go back to the same location and you take the same hikes and you get an enriched experience. So that's what repetition does for you. It supports your journey in developing breadth and depth. So does anybody have any questions about logging into the member content? You can unmute yourself because I can't unmute you. Does anybody have any questions or challenges that you perceive that might be in your way? You want to talk about what's getting in your way of doing what you want to do? Is there been any things that are like creating challenges for you in taking this course?
I've been watching TV.
You've been watching TV? Okay, well, the media deprivation. Okay, so I'm going to share my, oh yes, Barbara, yes. Okay, Barbara, what's your yes about? And I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself because I can't unmute you. You have to unmute yourself.
Okay, so just now you just unmuted me, but it keeps saying that the host has to unmute me. So I think when you mute all of us, then that's the way it stays until you unmute us. Does that make sense?
Let me go look at my settings.
You have omnipotent powers, Jody.
Okay, mute participants. Okay, we'll do that. And it says I've got to check allow participants to unmute themselves. That's not checked. Okay, I just had to look at my settings. Sorry. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize I was hogging all the power.
No, that's okay. Yeah, no, I have just fundamental problems of getting in to the website in the first place. I can't log in, so I think I just need to talk to the web person, I guess.
That's me.
Oh, you are the web person? Then I'm gonna need to talk to you because I mean I can't even reset my password. So
let's get the call afterwards.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Why don't you stay on the call after we're done?
Okay.
Are you able to share your screen?
Yeah, I know how to do all the things, Jody. I teach at CSUMB.
Perfect. Okay. We'll get you settled. We'll get you set. We want everybody to have a good experience and hack through the challenges.
Alrighty, thank you.
You are welcome. So we're going to start this this class today, and let's see, here we go. Okay, we're going to start every class with lighting your candle and setting our intention. So, or getting your sacred object, bringing something into your experience that's going to remind you that we're creating sacred space. And opening to God as our creative source. We're undertaking an important spiritual journey as an individual. We are also supported by our amazing group of co-creators. Light my candle. Creating sacred space and creating beautiful space was part of week 4, or sorry, creating beautiful space was part of week 1, was giving us a sense of safety. So we would want to always keep bringing the resources back from every week that encourage us to recover our identity as these co-creators with God. And we're going to go on to the next one. Okay, so our confidentiality agreement is in place. And we agree to keep everything that's shared confidential, speak only about ourselves and our expanding perceptions, our awareness and creativity, be kind, grateful, and creative. Our basic principles, we always want to review our basic principles. This is part of our process that we're doing every day, that you review the basic principles at least 1 to 2 times a day to remind yourself of the paradigm shift that you are creating. So I'm just going to share this. I'm going to speak this out loud. Creativity is the natural order of life. Life is energy, pure creative energy. There is an underlying indwelling creative force infusing all of life, including ourselves. When we open ourselves to our creativity, we open ourselves to the Creator's creativity within us and our lives. We are ourselves creations, and we in turn are meant to continue creativity by being creative ourselves. Creativity is God's gift to us. Using our creativity is our gift back to God. The refusal to be creative is self-will and is counter to our true nature. When we open ourselves to exploring our creativity, we open ourselves to God, good, orderly direction. As we open our creative channel to the Creator, many gentle but powerful changes are to be expected. It is safe to open ourselves up to greater and greater creativity. Our creative dreams and yearnings come from a divine source. As we move toward our dreams, we move towards our divinity. Can't ever say that enough to remind ourselves. So week 4 was recovering a sense of integrity. And what I'd like you to do right now is whip out a piece of paper, any kind of paper you want, and write down, what does integrity mean to you? And we're just going to take 1 minute to do this, and then we're going to share with the group, okay? Just take 1 minute, and what does integrity mean to you? When you're ready, you can just look up. And we'll take about 1 minute to share what's on our paper with the group, so that we all get a sense together of what this means as a collective. And then I'm going to share a definition of integrity from the dictionary. Okay, so if you're all ready. Go ahead. Barbara, why don't you start sharing? I'll just go down the list.
Okay. Not taking advantage of others, being transparent, not withholding info, being consistent with messaging in business life and work.
That's good. I like those. Kate.
Saying what I mean and meaning what I say, and to follow through with it. If I say I'm going to do something, then I need to actually do it, and to not agree to do something if I really don't want to do it.
Oh, that's, yeah. That's good. Janice.
I would say part of it for me is getting in touch with my deepest self and being true to that to the best of my ability in my relationship with myself and others.
Okay. Very good. Karen, what do you have to share?
Being truthful to self and others, having high moral standards, and being honest even if painful.
Very good. Thank you. Stephen.
He's muted.
I'm just going to ask him to unmute.
All right. Keeping my word of what I plan to do with self and friends.
Very good. Yeah, I wrote down doing what I say and keeping my promises, being single-minded and single-hearted, sound in my character. And so sounds like a lot of us think about keeping our word, like what we say and what we do are congruent. So I'm going to share my screen of what I found.
Jody, did Kate share?
Did Kate share? Oh, shoot. Did you share?
And she's muted.
I'm going to ask you to unmute. Thank you.
I shared. I went first.
You went first. So.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but thank you for checking in. I muted myself because my dogs are here
Oh, okay.
and the puppies. Okay, I'm going to go back to muted.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Thank you for calling that out. So when I looked it up on the internet, what I got was quality of being structurally sound, kind of like a building. Like they referred it to like architecture, that its sound integrity is part of being built in a sound way. Honest and having strong moral guidance system. Principled, uprightness. You do what you say is what you do. The ability to give yourself a command and do it. The state of being whole and undivided, inner and outer unity, coherence, and aligned. So this is what the big broad spectrum of integrity means. And sorry, I'm going to go forward. And one of the things we did in this last week is that recording of Laura Silva's meditation for centering into our creative power. And that meditation creates coherence in our body, mind system, in our head, our heart, our gut, our spirit, soul, mind, and body. So to practice, that was a 30-minute meditation. It was a very deep meditation, and it really teaches your body how to relax in the body, relax in the mind, and open into the spirit. So it's a very powerful meditation. We're going to do another Laura Silva meditation at the end that's about 12 minutes. That's compatible with this one. But if you didn't get to practice this, go back to the course in the website. And of course, as long as you can get there, let me know if you can't. And practice this meditation. It's a very powerful meditation for coherence. And so that was part of creating integrity. How do we create integrity and alignment in ourself? So that was the reason why I, sorry, it keeps slipping, why I put that in for supporting you, creating coherence. So what was here we go to integrity. And one of our things that was going to be a challenge to everybody that was acknowledged was this thing about media fasting. The original book of Artist's Way said, don't read anything but the Artist's Way for a week. But she expanded it to TV and internet and texting and email, everything. I mean, she just like invaded our entire world and told us we had to turn off everything. So I don't know how well y'all did. I can't imagine we did anything, quote, perfectly, but it was an opportunity to have an experience. And so I want you to take 2 minutes to write some notes. What was your experience with media fasting? Why do you think Julia wanted us to do this? And how do you think it helps us recover a sense of integrity? So I'm going to set my little timer for 2 minutes. And you're going to hear a little chime go off. So answer these questions, and then we're going to share. About 10 seconds left. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Come back to everybody. Okay, so I'm just gonna go down the list and we can start with Janice. And if you can get a little bit closer to your microphone, Janice, we'll hear you better.
Sure. Okay. So for me, my experience was it was a combination of just delicious to begin with, and then it felt like, and part of this was what was going to happen this week that I knew was already going to happen. It was like going down whitewater, and I was like, "Ah!" but in the middle of that, in terms of why I thought that she wanted us to do it, is it totally gave me more access to what started to come from within me versus I'm constantly taking stuff in, you know, so it sort of gave some quiet and ability to tap into that, even in the midst of all of the little bit of chaos that was going on. Okay, and then the integrity piece, this was kind of, I just laughed at myself because that night I went out and I had had a hard, whatever, I can't even remember which one of the 6 different things that happened that week, but I went into Walgreens and I was like, oh, I'll give myself a treat. I'll buy like 6 of these discount movies. And then I got them home and I was like, oh, you're doing the media fast. And I was like, oh. And then I thought, okay, you can do this. You've done it before. I did a little silent retreat once in my house for 3 days. And I was like, you can do it. And so I did, not watch the movies. I did watch President Trump and almost felt like I wished I hadn't after that. But I felt like that was like a health hazard. I was like kind of like that. But anyway, so I wasn't perfect with it, but I did really enjoy not turning the television on for the news and stuff like that. And I didn't talk to some of my friends that I normally talk with like almost every day. And so it was, I felt like it did, I did stick to it pretty well. So anyway, that's it.
Fantastic, Janice. Thank you for sharing. Great insights. Karen, your turn.
Well, I did not fast because I knew that there was going to be a debate this week, and there were people that were coming over, and I'm kind of into the political mode right now. But I did notice, I guess the key thing that I noticed was my awareness of how much I am tapped into the media, how much I do pick up my phone, how much I do watch the news, things like that. So, so anyway, there was an awareness factor that I think is important. Why did she want us to do this? I think to stop all of the external influences that we have coming at us, and look more internally to how we think and feel originally, and where is our originality. Also, I think in the book it said, after you run out of things to do, repotting your plants, cleaning out your closet, doing whatever, you do when you're on your fast, see if you turn to play. And so that was kind of an interesting thing to think about. And what was the, Jody, what was the thing about integrity? I got carried away with the other one. What was the last question?
Oh, it was, how does it help us recover a sense of integrity by doing this exercise?
Oh, I guess probably just, integrity to me is kind of self-honesty and self-reflection of you know, moral standards. And so I guess by shutting out external influences, you'd be more likely to get in touch with your own integrity.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you for your integrity. Steve.
Yes. I didn't like the assignment. And, I'm not a real television watcher. I don't watch YouTube, yes, but I don't, maybe have one or two shows that will be part of my daily routine. So figuring that I pretty much live alone, having to not do the TV and stuff, I just wasn't comfortable with it. Found it evasive. And with the COVID being distanced from people, it just didn't make sense. And I was fairly busy the whole week with photographing a wedding and performing music professionally. So it was great being with people. But in terms of, I think they say the average time that people watch TV is 6 to 8 hours a day. And mine is probably closer to a half hour to an hour a day, which I think is pretty good. And so I didn't have any sense of any integrity with it. It just didn't register as something as valuable.
Why do you think she had us do it?
I think if people are spending their life in front of a TV, it would be different. Since national average is 6 to 8 hours a day of people watching, that's how they spend their life, energy.
Yeah, she didn't just say TV. Actually, the book originally said books, because at the time books were kind of the thing that people retreat to.
Uh-huh.
She included everything. I mean, she kind of went in and tried to take away all our stuff, YouTube, social media, the whole 9 yards. So, and how do you think?
It made no sense to me.
Well, okay, but it made sense to her. She's, we look at this and go, okay, well, maybe somebody who's in the authority figure of like why she created this, if we take some piece of our life and go, okay, if I remove this habit, what opens the door to a greater sense of integrity? And I think that's what she was trying to do. What do you think, Stephen?
I don't get it.
You don't think taking away a habit that's just habitual that you do all the time opens the door for a new opportunity?
No.
No. Okay. Good enough.
I mean, if I'm already doing 8 or 10 things a day that I love doing, that's enough. I don't need to do 14. 10 is a very nice, of playing 3 or 4 instruments every day, of photographing every day, of being in touch with people in my life, doing my healing work. I mean, I'm pretty full.
Okay. Okay, good.
Especially if I'm doing my morning pages and reading the book every day.
Okay. Yeah, we take
just a guy,
we take what we want and we leave the rest. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Barbara, why don't you share with us about your experience with those 3 ideas?
Okay. Sorry. I've got like 17 devices going here. I just got a new Mac yesterday, but I was trying to load up for the Zoom, but I couldn't download the Zoom, et cetera, et cetera. Then I lost power on the thing my backup. Now I'm on my phone. Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. Okay. So why? Because I didn't really do it. I mean, I didn't do it, but I did, refrain a couple of times. And what the result of that was some noticing, right? So like I did some noticing, like, oh, look at you. This is a thing. Okay. So anyway, what does this have to do with integrity? So I just started with the idea of being consistent from the integrity. And so no media makes us tune into a deeper level of ourselves and be able to operate from that place. We are more connected with ourselves, less scattered psychically, less diverted, and able to not self-soothe through addicting media. And I tried to change self-soothe to something that doesn't sound so, blah. but then I wrote feel better, distract from issues. But it's really, I mean, it kind of comes down to that self-soothing, like baby, like my mommy is TV. So like, because I live alone, and so when I feel like, oh, I'm all alone, I can't deal with television. So anyway.
Very good. Thank you for being honest. Yeah, makes total sense. Okay, Kate, share with us your experience.
Am I unmuted?
Yep.
Okay. I knew that I wouldn't be able to fast completely, but what I did is I cut back. I had gotten some books from the library, and anyway, I ended up, I did not read the one book. And as far as the news, I just limited like maybe 1 hour a day watching the news as opposed to turning the TV on. And as far as like mindless TV goes, I watched a little bit. And the thing that I just became really aware of how mindless and how much of a habit it was. And I lost my cell phone a couple times because I was so used to always having it in my back pocket. And I took it out of my back pocket because I would just pick it up and I would just start playing solitaire, scrolling emails. So I would put it someplace so I wouldn't do that. And then a couple times it was like, oh my God, where's my phone? Where's my phone? It was really kind of funny. So anyway, I think she did it just to have us be aware of what our own thoughts are. I think it was all about awareness, just where my own brain was going, and, that I didn't have to just mindlessly follow the TV or mindlessly follow my emails. So, and I think it was all about awareness, being conscious, making a choice. That's what I think it was mostly about, learning that we can make a choice, that I can watch TV or I can choose not to watch TV. So it was empowering. I thought it was empowering. And that's it.
That's great. I think we just lost Barbara again. Barbara's having technical issues. That's my kitty. For me, I quit Facebook. I'm on Facebook quite a bit. I do it for work as well, but I decided to announce on my channel. I typed in, this is my last post for 7 days. And I took it off my phone. I took YouTube off my phone. I took every social media device app off my phone. So I couldn't habitually go. And I stayed off Facebook. So that was like a big win for me. I didn't watch TV for 5 days. I think I did 2 out of the 7 for sure, maybe 3. I think 4 or 5 days, nothing whatsoever. So that was good for me. And I think she did it to help us break habits that are unconscious habits that we just run, to open up to a new experience, a new opportunity. And what I would do with that time, which might just be sitting with myself, outside, inside, wherever. And that for me, doing what I say, saying what I do, is something that's important to me to work on, to build my character, and creating a sound mind, where I don't feel like I'm lacking anything, challenging the notion that something's missing. So I have to fill it with something to feel full, and just feeling myself as full, regardless of whether it's with people, media, anything. And I can just be full without anything else. Nothing gets to fill me up except that which is true in me. So that was a big awareness for me. Living that out is going to be a goal for me as well. So let's see. Did everybody get to share? I think we did. We had Janice, Kate, Barbara, and Stephen. Myself, yes, I think we did. Okay, we're moving to the next review part. So summary of week 4, just so that we can kind of have mindfulness. We were asked to read chapter 4, do the media fast, do our morning pages, include affirmations in those morning pages, and have an artist date. So I want you to take 30 seconds and note what you engaged with and how often. Just take 30 seconds and kind of jot down, like this is sort of your own self-reflection. We're not sharing it with the group. Just say, okay, I did this, this, and this, and I did it this many times. Bring it to remembrance. Okay. And we're going to go on to the next one. These were the activities. You may or may not have done any of them. Notice if you did do one of them, or a number of times, just jot down which one you did. If you didn't do any of them, just leave your page blank. Okay, and then these are the other ones that you could have done. Write down if you did any of them. And then this is the last 3 that we could have done. And write out if you did any of these. Okay. This is just for your own mindfulness, just to review, think back on your week and get clarity. This is part of building integrity, is that you take stock of your choices, your activity, your behavior, and you become the master of yourself, your expression of yourself, and what you do and how you walk in the world. And so at this point, what I'd like you to do is what you appreciate about yourself, and we're going to share this with the group. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. And Stephen, why don't you start? What do you appreciate about yourself?
I think he's muted.
That I'm cute or unmuted.
Now you're unmuted.
Okay.
Muted.
So I had a wedding on a boat Monday. And as I was going there, I just did a lot of affirmations about this being a great couple to work with, and we would have fun. And it was a fabulous wedding. And the bride was thrilled with my work, and that was wonderful. And then Monday night, I had a music job, and that was quite good. So those are very good things that happened to me this week. And Thursday, did an artist date with a friend and got to do Reiki. And she's a gourmet cook. So I had a wonderful meal, and she loved the Reiki. So it was a good week of being with people and having extraordinary things happen. That's my story.
Okay, but Stephen, that wasn't what I asked you to share. I asked you to share, what do you appreciate about yourself?
I guess just my talent,
You appreciate your talent. That's awesome.
my creativities.
Yeah. Yeah.
And having people in my life that I love to play with.
That's awesome. Very good. We can tell our story about what happens, but to really deeply appreciate ourselves is a completely different experience. And when we,
That's very profound.
yeah, and for us to appreciate you, appreciating yourself is a really powerful witness that you have, we all have the boldness to appreciate ourselves. So thank you. Thank you for stepping into that with me. Karen, how about you?
I appreciate that I'm joyful and that I like taking care of things. I love animals, so I like to feed the birds. I like to take care of my dog. I like to take care of flowers and things. I like to care for things and for people. I also appreciate that I'm accepting of other people's lifestyles and their idiosyncrasies. I have a friend that has, I think might be a hoarder, I'm not sure, but her house is absolutely filled. And I kind of found myself thinking, this person lives very different than the way I do, but it didn't diminish what I thought of her at all. I kind of embraced it, and I thought, wow, this person has a really different, unique perspective of the world, and I'd like to find out more about that. So I appreciate it that I'm accepting.
Very good, Karen. Thank you. Thank you. Barbara, how about you? What do you appreciate about yourself?
Hi. Well, I appreciate that I can work through things. So this week, what I worked through was realizing that I'm young enough. After giving up after giving up after a bit of a rough relationship, like bad 15-year relationship, I'm starting to come back to myself, basically, long story short. And so I'm starting to realize I can do whatever I want. So I'm glad that I still have the resiliency that's allowing me to recover.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's powerful. Very good. Janice, what do you appreciate about yourself? You got to unmute. I'm going to ask you to unmute.
Okay, there we go. That I have tended to explore other areas that are a little bit outside of my usual field that I work in professionally, and then also maybe even just personally, and that I've persisted with that even in spite of some of the difficulties along that journey for me. So I like that about myself. And this past week, I appreciate about myself, I have an older neighbor that I just was so precious that moved. And I guess I just appreciate that at times I, can just really appreciate, especially older people. I don't know, there's something about that. So I enjoyed writing my version of a creative card with some humor to that couple that moved, and they moved to some place that's called Allegre Pass, which I think means soft pass. And I thought how appropriate for them in terms of ultimately a transition of sorts or so. So anyways, those are two things. There's more, but that's what came today. So
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Kate, what do you appreciate about yourself?
Mute. You know what I thought is that, sometimes it's hard to do different things, and that I still do it anyway. I was thinking about, how could I be more spontaneous? What are, like, I think one of the things in the book said 5 silly things that you could do at least once in your lifetime. And I just absolutely got delighted with that idea. And I thought, wouldn't improv be the funniest thing? And I shared that with a couple of people, and my nephew sent me some YouTubes on introductory improv classes. And I just thought, that was just so precious. It just tickled my heart, it just made me feel happy. So anyway, so I guess that I appreciate that even if something is difficult, that I still do it.
Boldness.
Yeah, and that's about it.
That's wonderful. I'm going to share mine, and then we're going to take a break, 5-minute break. I appreciate that I wrote myself an artist prayer, and I appreciate my awareness that I can be a giver, and that I can give from a resource that's within me. I make jewelry, and so I decided I wanted to appreciate somebody else for the value they've given me. So I gave them a piece of jewelry. I wrote them a prayer for the fall, gave them a card, and gave them a little bag of treats for Halloween. And that really made me feel good about myself, that I can receive and I can give out. And so I wanted to practice doing that, being a giver. So I appreciate myself for being mindful and appreciating others in my life, and acknowledging them, not forgetting to acknowledge or taking people for granted who are just there every week, and then making them feel special. So I know that what I give out comes back to me. So it's like, that'll help me take care of myself and treat me special too. So it was a really good experience for me to kind of break from just the average daily routine and make a special time happen that wouldn't necessarily have happened if I hadn't done it. So I appreciate that about myself. So we have a 5-minute break. I'm going to put the recording on pause because we don't need to recording again. And I'm going to share my screen. And we're going to be doing for week 5, recovering a sense of possibility is what we're on. And the videos are limits, virtue trap, and wishing. And we'll just go through all of them. So what I'm going to make sure is make sure everybody's got their audio paused or audio silenced, and then it will be easy to listen.
Welcome to week 5, recovering a sense of possibility. This is a week where you may find yourself playing eeny, meeny, miny, moe as you are trying to decide between your old self and your new self. You may feel a little bit like Alice in Wonderland, where one minute you're very large, the next minute you feel very small. You keep changing sizes, going back and forth between the two. And what happens is as you become larger, you recognize the possibility of being permanently larger. You have an expanded sense of self. And as your sense of self expands, your boundaries shift and you become more and more able to say, this is what I like. This is what I care about. This is what matters to me. So in recovering a sense of possibility, it's a sense of authenticity that comes to you to go through the exercises of this week. I would say that the morning pages give me a sense of possibility. In your old self, your new self, you may feel a little bit Alice in Wonderland, where one minute you're very large, the next minute you feel very small. You keep changing sizes, going back and forth between the two. And what happens is as you become larger, you recognize the possibility of being permanently larger. You have an expanded sense of self. And as your sense of self expands, your boundaries shift and you become more and more able to say, this is what I like. This is what I care about. This is what matters to me. So in recovering a sense of possibility, it's a sense of authenticity that comes to you as you work through the exercises of this week. I want to say that the morning pages give me a sense of possibility. That as I work with pages, they suggest things to me. A large example for me was I was writing my morning pages and I got, wouldn't it be fun to write a musical about Merlin? And I thought, oh, screw you, I'm not musical. I'm 45 years old. If I were musical, I would know it. But the pages persisted. Wouldn't it be fun to write a musical about Merlin? And I had been writing them for about 15 years at this point, and I was used to being obedient. So I said to myself, there must be some way for me to make music. And I was walking in the Rocky Mountains, and I sat down next to a little stream, and all of a sudden I heard, my green heart is filled with apples, your dark face is filled with stars. And I thought, oh my God, it's a song. And I was running up the hill to my friend's house, and she said, here, quick, sing it into a tape recorder. And I did, and that was the first of many, many songs, which all came through because I was willing to trust the morning pages. I want to talk a little bit about the idea of limits. Most of us have an idea of what it is we can do. Like I knew I could not write a musical. It was above my ceiling. And yet, when I trusted, sure enough, I wrote a musical about Merlin. Now, I think that all of us have things that we would love to do that we tell ourselves we're too small to pull off. And yet, I want you to know that you have put yourself in touch with what I would call the great creator or the great artist. And the great creator has limitless possibilities. And so when you are in touch with the great creator and you say to it, please help me to manifest this, you are able to manifest what you're dreaming about. It's a matter of trying. And I think that the best way to describe it is maybe to say, pray to catch the bus, but then run as fast as you can. There's an image that I like to use in conjunction with morning pages. And that is the image of a river, a current, a flow. And when you do your morning pages, it's as if you're in a little boat and the boat is keeping you safe and it's moving you in the direction of the flow. So do your morning pages and then be alert to the river, to the flow that's moving you in a certain direction. A lot of times we pray for guidance, and then we get an instinct to do something that feels really pretty foreign to us. And what I'm asking you to do is pray a second time, and if you still get the same guidance, say to yourself, well, this is guidance, and if I want to go with the river, I better go with the guidance. The difficulty that people have with letting themselves be free has to do with the idea that they have in fact bought into something which I call the virtue trap. And the virtue trap is something that's sort of subtle. If somebody is a victim of the virtue trap, on the surface, he looks like a model citizen. He looks wonderful. But if you examine it more closely, you find that he has often sold himself out. So a virtue trap example would be, that's all right. You go to the movies. I'll stay with the kids. It's a sort of martyred energy that we get a lot of praise for. And when people are breaking free of the virtue trap, they start saying things like, no, I've babysat 4 weeks in a row. I don't want to babysit again tonight. I'm going to the movies. So the virtue trap is a false sense of virtue. And we often tie this up with God's will for us. We think that God's will for us is to be long-suffering, and we never bother to check that out with God. You know, we don't pray for knowledge of God's will and expect something cheerful. Instead, we expect to be told, stay right where you are, dig in deep, offer it up. And all of this kind of fake piety gives us a sense of fake virtue, and it leaves us actually very, very frustrated. One of the things that I believe when you're stuck in the virtue trap is that you need to win out some time just for yourself. This is where artist dates come in. You need to take yourself out on a festive expedition and do something maybe just a little bit naughty. And that will start to pry loose the tentacles of the virtue trap. There's a technique which is very simple and very profound. And that technique is wishing. And I ask you to number from 1 to 20 and to fill in the blank. I wish, I wish, I wish, I wish. And it seems it's a very annoying tool because it's so repetitive. And it also is annoying because it's pushing away at our denial. And we find ourselves stating wishes that we are officially too grown up to feel. And those sort of childlike wishes are very potent. And one of the things that I think is important to do is to hang on to your wish list and check it 6 months later and see what's happened. You may have a wish like, I wish to have more music in my life. And then you forget you made that wish, but you become friends with a musician, and he plays his music over at your house, and you find yourself feeling a sense of gratitude and joy, but you don't even remember that you wished for this musician to show up. So it's a matter of writing down your wishes and taking them seriously. You know, if you have a wish that says, I wish I had more freedom, then that might translate into, I'm not going to work overtime anymore. So the wishes have all different ways of coming true, but they do come true.
Okay, so we're doing the 20 wishes. Sorry, my cat's just barking up a storm here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get a fresh piece of paper, and I want you to do this in a sense of, it's not what you should wish for. It's not what your spirituality tells you you should have. It's not what your parents think you should be. It's not what your kids think you should ask for. It's not what your friends and family think you should ask for. It's what you really want. That's in your deepest heart of desire. Abandoned dreams, neglected desires, things that actually, don't spiritualize it. Don't say, oh, I shouldn't have this. This is being greedy. It doesn't mean I'm an awakened being or I haven't evolved or whatever. That's all the fake piety. Open up your heart to your heart's desires, and it's something that actually is precious for all of us. When you actually are honest about what you want and you desire, it actually will open the door for relationships to happen, because you can't create in a vacuum. You can't create alone. It'll mean that you're going to be bringing the help and the experiences into your life to co-create with the universe, with God, and cooperate. When we think about the word cooperate, it's co-operational. You're cooperating with God in this whole purpose. And if we don't receive and release our desire, and the word desire means of the Father, Dios, from the original, from the seed. Father meaning the masculine, meaning the seed that's sown into us. And for us to reject that which is sown into our hearts is to reject the creative life that wants to come through us and demonstrate through us. So get this idea out of your head that desire is the root of all suffering. That's just as fake as money is the root of all evil. So reassess your idea about desire, that it's a good thing, that it's sown into your heart for a purpose, for a greater purpose, for your purpose to demonstrate on planet Earth. So this opportunity to list 20 things that you wish for. Okay, we'll do this for 1 minute. Okay, I want you to go for, if you haven't finished, we get another minute. Okay. You may or may not have gotten to 20, but you did get to see some stuff that was coming out of you that's part of it. So I want you to keep sitting with this thing about letting yourself write down what you want. And when you write it down, we're going to take this. So don't put this away yet. Look at your list that you have right in front of you. And look at the one that stands out the most, that makes your heart sing, that puts the biggest smile on your face. And when this happens, you can feel yourself into the end scene of it already having happened. We're going to do a little audio exercise that's called the mirror of the mind. And it's going to take you from where you are to where you want to be. The you who you are now to the you who actually is living out that desire in real time. That it's already happened. You know it to be true. It's anchored in your being, that you know, even though circumstantially you don't see it, even though it's not in front of you in the physical realm, it's so seeded into your being that you know for certainty it is already done. And it's just a matter of time that you walk it out. And so part of this is seeing yourself as that person, the person who you are right now, how you wear your hair, how you dress, the time you wake up in the morning, the time you go to bed, your habits, everything you do as you that defines your external expression is the you who has the results you have right now. But the you who has the result of this desire fulfilled is going to have something different about you that has changed, that's going to indicate that this is actually the new you, that you've incorporated a whole new aspect of your identity. Maybe something has been let go of. Maybe something has been brought in. And I don't know what it is, but you will find out in this meditation. Something will show up and you'll see yourself in a new way. And you will embrace that and open to that, and it will become part of your new reality. So we're going to go, I'm going to share my screen. And it's the Mirror of the Mind 12-minute meditation. So making sure everybody's got their audio muted. And I'm just going to read this.
Let's get ready for him.
It says the above exercise, or this exercise is meant to enhance your creativity and will enable you to observe matter from a subjective perspective. As you observe, you get more knowledge, and with it comes respect. This has a tendency to lead to acceptance and unconditional love. Dubbed by delegates as the best for having changed the lives of many on such an unprecedented level, The mirror of the mind exercise is the single most powerful exercise in the Silva universe. So be prepared to experience a revelation like no other. And you'll be able to come back to this because it will be out in your recordings. So it is 11 minutes and 32 seconds. It's not 30 minutes like the last one. So I want you to just settle into a relaxed position, a relaxed place. You can use, to start with the process, you can also lift your eyes up and look to the ceiling to get your mind and your brain into alpha. And follow along with Laura, and we'll start this now.
Pressing the mirror of the mind technique. During the exercise, I'm going to allow you enough time to work on a goal or work on a problem situation. Now, once you've started working towards a goal, once every 3 days, enter your level and visualize your solution to reinforce it and keep the desire strong. This helps keep your enthusiasm high. On really important projects, visualize your solution at level every day. Imagine or recall the feeling that you would associate with success. At all levels, believe you have already achieved your goal and maintain the feeling that you have already received it. You've just planted a seed. At the mental dimension, your project has been completed. Now consider the physical dimension like soil. It takes time for the seed to grow through that soil and surface where it can be seen in the physical dimension. Pick something that you want to work with. A particular project, a goal, a problem, anything like that, okay? You got it? All right. Find a comfortable sitting position. Close your eyes. You know how to do this now, yes? All right. Take a deep breath, and while exhaling, mentally repeat and visualize the number 3 times. Level 3 is for physical relaxation, to relax your body from head to toes. To help you relax your body, I'm going to call your attention to different parts of your body. Relax your scalp. Relax your forehead. Relax your face and the muscles surrounding your face. Relax your neck and throat. Relax your shoulders, arms, and hands. Relax your chest and the spine. Relax your chest externally and internally. Imagine every cell, tissue, gland, and organ functioning in a normal, healthy, rhythmic manner. Relax your abdominal area, externally and internally, relaxing every cell, tissue, gland, and organ, and causing them to function in a normal, healthy, rhythmic manner. Relax your thighs. Relax your knees. Relax your calves. Relax your feet, all the way down to your toes. It is a wonderful feeling to be deeply relaxed, a very healthy state of being. Take another deep breath, and while exhaling, mentally repeat and visualize
the number 2 3 times, and relax your mind by projecting yourself to tranquil and passive scenes. Take another deep breath, and while exhaling, mentally repeat and visualize number 1 3 times. And you're now at your starting point, the basic plane level, where you can use your mind in any way that you desire for positive intentions and outcomes. I'm going to count from 10 to 1. At the count of 1, you will be at a deeper, healthier level of mind, deeper than before. 10, 9, feel going deeper. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, deeper and deeper. 3, 2, 1. You are now at a deeper, healthier level of mind, deeper than before. Create at this point in time and project on your mental movie screen a full-length mirror. This mirror is known as the mirror of the mind. This mirror of the mind can be mentally increased in size to encompass within its frame a thing or things, a person or persons, a small scene or a large scene. The frame of the mirror of the mind can be mentally changed from blue to white. The blue frame will denote the problem or the existing situation, which can be converted into a project. The white frame will denote the solution or goal. To solve a problem or to reach an outcome with the mirror of the mind, enter level 1, the basic plane level with the 3 to 1 method. Then project the image of the mirror of the mind with a blue frame onto your mental screen. You then create an image of the problem, situation, person, or scene and project it onto your blue framed mirror of the mind in order to make a good study of the situation. After making a good study of the problem situation, you erase the problem image, move the mirror towards your left, and change the mirror's frame to white and project the solution image you desire onto your white framed mirror of the mind. From then on, anytime you think of a project, only visualize the solution image you have created framed in white. It's now time for you to work on a problem case. Bring to mind a project, a problem, or a present situation that you would like to work with. Project that onto your blue frame mirror of the mind and make a thorough study of the situation as to the factors involved. After making a study of the problem situation, erase a problem image, move this mirror towards your left, and change the frame of the mirror to white. And create and project the solution that you desire, believe, and expect to manifest. And project it onto the white frame mirror of the mind. Answer the questions, what is it that I desire? Where will I be when it manifests? When do I want it to manifest? How is it going to make my life different and better? And why is this important to me? Project intense desire, belief, and expectancy onto the solution or goal image within the white frame mirror of the mind. When you have the image in the white frame mirror of the mind just right, and if it's appropriate, then step into that image in the white frame mirror and become one with it, experiencing it fully and completely, using all of your sensing mechanisms. Now put your hands in your empowering position and say to yourself mentally, whenever I have a need or desire to feel this way, think this way, believe this way, or behave this way, all I need to do is to put my fingers in this position and it will be so. From this point on, visualize the desired images in the white frame mirror of the mind. This is for your benefit. You desire it, and it is so. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. At the count of 5, you will open your eyes, be wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before, feeling the way you feel when you have slept the right amount of revitalizing, refreshing, relaxing, healthy sleep. 1, 2, coming out slowly now. 3. At the count of 5, you will open your eyes, be wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. 4, 5. Eyes open, wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better. Yeah.
Okay. So if you wanted to jot down some notes for yourself to remind you of what's in that white framed mirror, you're going to be coming back to this idea when you do this meditation. You won't be seeing the problem anymore. You don't want to return to the blue frame mirror. You want to just stick with the white frame mirror. So if you do the 3 to 1 count in your own mind, you can do that. You can start with 3 and then relax your body. Go to 2, you'll see a passive scene in nature. And then see the number 1, and then see the white framed mirror and see the scene as it is. And spend time with that every day. You can spend time with it in the morning when you wake up. Take yourself to the level, that alpha level. Breathe in and just see that white frame mirror. This is what is, and you can do it at lunchtime and before you go to bed. If you do it 3 times a day, it just enters into the subconscious mind deeper and deeper and deeper. And it's a very powerful tool to become one with this idea and allow it to unfold. So we'll take a few minutes. You might want to jot notes down on what you want it to be and what you're becoming one with. Okay, so we can come back. I put in the chat the basic 3 to 1 count in this process. 3, when you see 3 times, then you relax the body from head to toe. 2, you see a passive scene in nature. 1 is the creation level. At that point, you start visualizing, seeing what you want to create, becoming one with that. And usually what people will do, what we're instructed to do, is to see the end scene, some end scene. Let's say, as an example, you're paying, let's just say you have credit card debt. You don't focus on the debt, because when you focus on the debt, you create more of it. You don't want to give energy to the thing that you want to get rid of. So you're creating a scene that represents it completely paid off. It's done. So that scene could be that your awareness is exactly of all the debt you have. Let's just say, I mean, it could be 50,000, could be 2,000, could be 100,000. Doesn't matter what it is. Neither big nor small. It's just what it is. You see it completely being paid off in some way. That could mean you receive a check in the mail of that amount. It doesn't matter. You get to pick whatever it is. You're the creator. How's this going to end up happening? You can make it as difficult or as fast or as amazing as you want it to be. It doesn't have to be rational or logical. You don't have to have it all worked out. You don't have to know the how. You just see the end scene of it having happened. And you know that end scene represents it's done. It is completely taken care of. And that's what you focus on. You don't focus on the how. You don't focus on the work that has to be done to make it happen. You focus on the end scene. It's done. It's completed. You're celebrating. That could mean maybe a million things that could be going on. You could be celebrating with the party with your friends, or, that means you're no longer, spending that money to pay it off. It's going towards something else that that money is being redirected because it's all cleared off. If you wanted to, let's say, create something, you have the intention of wanting to create some kind of business, or you wanted to create some new activity that you want to participate in. Just like Julia said, she was being instructed to imagine creating a musical around Merlin. So she started getting songs. So these songs started coming to her. So she accepted them and she started writing them and living with them. And she became this person who created a play, a musical play around Merlin. So becoming one with it means all the resources that come together to make it happen, you're going to be just fine with. You're going to say yes to. You're like, I don't know how it's going to happen, but I know it's going to happen. So at this point, what we are going to do next is I'm going to share my screen and remind ourselves of that we're on week 5, going into week 5, recovering a sense of possibility. So all things are possible to those who believe. And so we're building our faith. When we build our faith, when we build our belief through this meditation, all things become possible for us. So in doing the daily morning pages, daily reading the basic principles, the weekly artist state, a 20-minute walk, and pick tasks that you feel will really challenge you. This is where you're headed for the week. So now it's time. If anybody has any questions, you can unmute yourself, or if you have any comments or any shares, any takeaways from today, what was new and good for you, you can share that with the group. Go ahead and unmute yourself if you have any questions. It could be on topic or it could be on anything you want to talk about.
I have a question. We are supposed to be, today we were supposed to have read week 5 in the book. Is that right?
Week 4.
Week 4. Okay, I got it. Okay.
We're heading into week 5.
Right. So next week we will have read week 5 in the book.
Correct.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Anybody else? Hey, Barbara, good to see you back.
Huh.
Okay, so no questions. Okay, what time is it? It's 11.
Actually, I have one.
Go ahead and share.
Oh, okay. Let's see. One thing I was just wondering about is the prayers. You know, I read a little bit of her book on online with the prayers, and I know that exercise that we just did, where I've heard sometimes when you pray, think in the prayer, thank universe, whatever, for bringing to you what it is that you're praying about. And so I guess I was just sort of wondering a little bit about trying to figure out my own way of praying that way. And, you know, and so anyway, do you have any comments about that in terms of, is that a useful way? I guess it could be.
Yeah. One of the things you can always start out with is, I'm so happy and grateful now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And you start saying, this is what's happened. This is my life now.
Okay. 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 Nice.
You know, my car is paid off, or I have brand new tires on my car, or all my bills are paid without me even thinking about it. I'm so happy and grateful I can put all my bills on auto pay and I never have to think about it, because money comes into me on a regular basis, on a continuous amount, in increasing amounts. And you just play with it. A person who's awesome at affirmative prayer is Catherine Ponder.
Okay.
Catherine Ponder is a Unity minister. She's still alive. She lives in Palm Desert. And Florence Scovel Shin. Those are my 2 absolute most favorite women who get right to the meat of affirmative prayer. And I have a whole bunch of prayers from Catherine Ponder from her book, Dynamic Laws of Prosperity. And I'll give you a couple of them right here. I give thanks that I am the ever-renewing, ever-unfolding expression of infinite health, life, and energy. Peace abides in my walls and prosperity abides in my bank account. So she has some great affirmative prayers.
Very nice. Wow. Thank you. No, that's good. That's good.
You're welcome.
Great. Great.
Anything else? Anybody have any other questions?
You know, I have one other comment. Let's see here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to thank everybody for being here in the group and allowing me again to come a little bit late to the group. And I feel like I got to know you guys a little bit because I got to see a little bit the group on the video that Jody had available. And I kind of feel a little remiss that I didn't really introduce myself a little bit more or reveal myself a little bit more. I kind of feel a little bit like I'm kind of been in the shadows, and part of that is a little bit, I tend to be a little shy. So I live in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and and my 3 dogs are here with me, and Little Bear, Squeaky Pea, and Little Lady, and I work in integrative medicine and also in psychiatry, which is another thing I kind of tend to not like to reveal a lot because people usually, you know, kind of have their own reactions. And I kind of wanted to just be able to come in a little bit incognito probably and just explore new parts of myself or whatever. Also, I'm kind of a little bit like working in that field, a little bit like the wizard in, you know, Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, where I'm always behind the curtain to a certain extent, although that's changed over the years. So anyway, I just wanted to reveal myself a little more, I guess. And Yeah.
Janice, you're in my spirit place. I lived there 13 years, and I was trying to invite my friend to join us. She's still there. All my friends are still there in Albuquerque.
Wow,
I mean,
wow.
Not all, but like a large chunk of them.
It's a really cool place. My
know.
really good friend moved to where you guys are, and she's the one that introduced me to CSA. So
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Janice, my mom was the head nurse of the locked ward at the psychiatric unit at UCLA.
Wow. At where?
UCLA Medical Center.
UCSF or?
LA.
UCLA. Wow. Oh my gosh. Well, no wonder you're so good at what you do. That's amazing. You must have it in your blood. Yeah. And I tend to be better at one-on-one, so I totally admire this group that you're facilitating, because it's not my forte, and even participating is a challenge for me. So anyway, thank you.
I appreciate everybody's participation, and we're going to continue to get to know each other more and more. One of the things I wanted to ask everybody to do was do a little intro bio that you write down that is going to edify you and also amplify you and brag about you. So I want you to brag about yourself, amplify yourself, and edify yourself in your bio. That would be just like a brief, maybe paragraph of introduction, that if you were to be introduced to a group of people, what would you want them to hear in a brief introduction that the speaker would announce you? I want you to play with that this week, of having yourself be introduced to the world. So, because we're breaking out of being behind the scene and going, oh, I get to be the light. I'm shining my light. I want people to know who I am, and I'm gonna really stand in my spotlight, because you have a spotlight that's shining on you, and we all get to see your glory. So play.
Say the three things again. That edifies.
Oh, edify,
Brags.
and what did I say?
Amplify,
Edify, and
brag.
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 Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. So you can imagine, and I'll put one that I did for myself in an email to you all. I'm going to email you that when the video's up, when all the content's up, I'll email you, let you know it's done, with the link to the login page. How's that?
Okay.
I think it'll be helpful. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's just a little assignment on the side to kind of step into the spotlight even more, and take up the space that's you. So, okay. So I think, let's see, the questions are done. What time is it? 11:56. Let me share my screen one last time. And we're going to do our little treatment to end our evening, or end our afternoon. There's one life flowing through us all. This life is intelligent and responsive to our heart's desires. We are co-creative beings working with God. We are embraced by and contained within God. We continuously draw upon this one infinite source of life and love. We have access to an unlimited supply that is freely given to us. Through the act of affirmative creative visualization and our imagination, the limitless resources of God are delivered to us for our good, under grace in perfect ways. And so it is. So enjoy your week, and thank you for your participation. And just to remind you that we have 2 weeks off, Thanksgiving and Halloween. And those will be our break weeks. And much love to everybody. I'm going to stop the recording.